Assalamu alaikum, beloved Huzur. This afternoon we are very honored to have Jeremy Hunt, Member of Parliament, with us. Jeremy is a very good friend of the Jamaat and is a Member of Parliament for South West Surrey, which includes Islamabad, and has represented us since 2005. In the past, Jeremy has been the Shadow Minister for several portfolios, and since last year's general election, Jeremy is now the Secretary of State for Culture, Olympic, Media and Sports. Jeremy has a keen interest in charity and has set up Charity Help AIDS Orphans in Africa, in which he continues to play an active role. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so pleased that he could join us today. It is an absolute pleasure and an honor to be able to welcome Jeremy, the Secretary of State, to the stage to address the convention.
Your Holiness, ladies and gentlemen, Salam Alaikum. I think looking at the weather outside at the start of this weekend, our first prayer must be for the weather. But as I am the Minister for Tourism, I want to assure those friends who have come from other countries that our country looks even more beautiful in the rain, and I hope you will be able to appreciate that as well. Last time I spoke to the Jalsa, I was a shadow minister. Now I have the privilege and honour of being a Secretary of State, and I am delighted to say that I've discovered that of the 500 civil servants who work for me, one of them is an Ahmadi, and he's here, Fareed Ahmed. So you've been very good at keeping tabs on your British ministers. And my biggest privilege, though, is as a constituency MP to have the Islamabad community in my constituency in South West Surrey, led so wonderfully by Mr. Shams for so many years, and they are really an example for me of Ahmadi values at their best, because they have integrated so wonderfully into our community in the beautiful village of Tilford, and they are so welcome and so valued by our whole community. Today I want to thank the Ahmadi community for what you do to promote values that make the world a more peaceful place. I want to thank you for your charitable work, the £250,000 that you raise every year for British charities. I want to thank you for your advertising campaign on the London buses, which some of you may have seen examples of down here, to promote the peaceful values that lie at the heart of Islam and are not always properly understood by people who aren't Muslims. And I want to thank you for the way that you open your mosques up for people who are giving blood donations for use by local scout groups, local police groups, or what we call the big society in action. These are really wonderful examples, and I think an example to all faith groups as to the positive role you can play. I just want to say one other thing, which is I think that your worries as we look around the world are very much about the situation in Pakistan, and for the British government we share those worries. We also want to do everything we can to help Pakistan move to being a more stable and peaceful and tolerant country. His Holiness Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said, "Our God has never discriminated between one people and another." And you as a community have done a huge amount to promote religious tolerance and understanding, as only you can, because I think you understand what it is to be a religious minority and just how important it is to have that understanding. And I think we should all pray for everyone of whatever faith who is persecuted for their religion throughout the whole world. And we should also ask ourselves, as well as praying, what actions we can do to help support those people and to help overcome that oppression. So I want to say to you today, I'm incredibly honoured to be your first guest speaker. The British Prime Minister David Cameron, I know, wants to give you the warmest of welcome at the start of the Jalsa weekend, and we want to wish you every success for what happens this weekend and what happens going forward in the next year. Assalamu alaikum.